entrepreneurship sounds exciting, there's an ugly side to it too. Today's guest shared with me that she learned many hard lessons and struggled with her own pride, impulsiveness, and perfectionism, and wished she had been less of a lone ranger and more of a leader when she first founded her business. When she was chasing after what she wanted, she couldn't reach her goals. But when she let go and learned to take helpful advice and opened up, her business began to change. Then the pandemic hit, and again her business earnings hit the ground, and now she is transforming her business to the next phase. Hello and welcome to Season 4 of the Womenpreneur Asia podcast, and I'm your host, Krista Good. I'm also an entrepreneur, author, marketer, storyteller, and connector. And each season, I curate stories and journeys of Asian women entrepreneurs from India to Japan who are open enough to talk about their businesses. These are real conversations with everyday women in business across Asia. This episode is brought to you by my company, Redbox Studio. Today's episode is with Dr. Wendy Liew, who is the founder of The Image Creator, a corporate training business based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. She was a delight to interview. We had so much fun and laughter and even tears as she was open enough to talk about her shortcomings, the fear of losing face, and being a failure. Success means a lot to her because she grew up in a small town and in an era and environment where boys were favored over girls. Her mother was her biggest supporter, even borrowing money to put her through to university, and often had to deal with Wendy's impulsive career changes. I am positive you will enjoy today's interview. And welcome to Womenpreneur Asia, Wendy.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
So, Wendy, where are you right now?
In PJ, somewhere very nearby my office.
So you live very near to your business?
Yes.
And so that also gives us a chance to ask you, what is your business, Wendy?
My business is actually very much on image consulting, whereby we do mostly on trainings, speaking engagement, and some consulting work. But it's actually registered as Sindram Berhad is actually since 2012, or I started earlier than that. Actually, officially is on 2009.
Wow, so, that's a long time.
Yes. Also, it tells my age. So for those who are actually trying to, use the fingers and minus it back, I'm 44, this year, 1978.
I just read an article the other day that says 40s is where all those things start to launch and take off.
Exactly. That day I was having a dinner for Chinese New Year celebration. So it so happened we are talking about our age, and I was happily telling them, then one of my friends says, hey, you shouldn't actually review your age. I say, what's the problem? I think women at 40 is just the beginning, not only for men, but, when you are at a certain age, you achieve something in life. That's how we started to enjoy life. And then our children's are they can take care of themselves. I think this is the best time, for me. And even since young, I always look forward to 40. I just do not know why.
So that is where we have accumulated all the experience, the knowledge, the expertise in order to really start looking into what we truly want to do with our lives, right? So I think that's why they mentioned that 40s is really the time to really take off like a launch pad. You're not from KL, right? Not from Klang Valley or PJ. Where did you grow up in?
I am a kampong girl in a small little town named Kampar. Actually, before that, years ago when I tell people I'm actually from Kampar, hey, where is it? They say Kampar, somewhere nearby Ipoh. If you heard about Ipoh, then I'm actually about 40-45 minutes, to Ipoh. But of course, ever since Utah, was built, and then now everybody knows, where Kampar is, a very small town. Those days, it's just that there are two main roads back then. It was from a very, very humble family, and then of course when we are actually born in a very conservative family whereby my grandparents, they hate girls, and unfortunately my mom has so many girls. We have 4 girls, and the first one, second one, and I'm actually the third one. Even my name Wendy come after it's actually related to boy. I'm the third one. So my grandmother said, "Ayo, good." As a woman, my mom feels so bad because my father's brother has two boys. So until my turn, again another girl. That's why they name me as one. Then one T. One T means fine. Yeah. So that's how my name, came by. And then of course, unfortunately, 4 years later, I didn't manage to find a boy, but another girl. So since young, we are being actually looked down. We have to do all the housework. And whenever we are back in our grandmother's house, yeah, then they will say, "Hey, why you sit here? Go and help lah, do this, do that." But the boys are like, they are enjoying sitting around, watching TV, makan, but we are like maid. So like that lah. So to me, I was thinking like, hey, why the world is so unfair, why girls is like rubbish, but the boy is like, wow, so privileged. So that's why to me my childhood wasn't great, and I always think that we are loser, we are so no face lah, nothing lah, no face, no money, nothing. Even Chinese New Year clothes also people have to buy for us. So that's why actually I always share with people, others people rubbish was once our precious. When people give us baju, I'm so happy, we treat it like a new baju like that. Yeah, so like that lah, that's how we actually grow up.
But were your parents in business?
No, my mom is a full-time housewife. My dad is a government servant. He was serving TNB. But back then, it started from KED to LLN and then only to what do you call TNB. Yeah, so he was the only breadwinner. But of course, thankfully, because he's the government, right? So we are lucky that all the medical were covered. And then of course we have like a company house, a very small house.
Then where did that dream of starting a business come from?
Yeah, because we are always poor, right? Then I always think, will I be one day get rich or not? I always dream about that. So even these things, when I started working, I always look around and see my colleague, wow, so charming, so charming is like, wow, so kasihan, this one, who and who. After so many years, only assistant manager. Then I look another, the manager, already like in her 50s. So I say, wow, 50-year-old only manager, like earning X amount of salary. So I was like, hey, until when only I can actually get rich, So that's how I always thought of like, I think I should actually, do something. And of course, when we were younger, I see one of my classmates is a very close friend of mine because the parents is actually selling the hawker store, selling yu tan fan. Yu tan fan means like, and then the family is very rich. So she actually live in a bungalow and with few cars. So since young, I think I always thought of like, hey, even selling fishball noodles also quite rich. So I thought of like, I think I need to do something with it. But of course, because my parents, actually my mother specifically, she is very fierce back then. Just do not know why as she gets older, right? She's tamer now. Always ask us like, you must study hard, if you don't study hard, then you cannot get a good job and stuff like that. And because she is a housewife, she always say, you better actually get something for your own. You find a job so that you do not need to actually open your palm and get money from your husband. I said, okay. So since young, this is like instilled and implanted in our mind, so that's how it all started. But of course, I always wish that, one day I want to do something on my own and then just try my luck, to do something else. That's why actually I only 4 years under employment. And right after that, I say just take it or leave it. I must actually do something on my own.
And starting this business, specifically your image consulting business, why this particular business? Was it because that you really like fashion and styling people or dressing up well? Is that part of the reason?
It all started because I am a vein pot. This is a complete because kampas no tau ma. So actually everyone knows everyone I know kampung. Then of course even to tuition I take time to mix and match, and my hobby, whenever I'm free, then I'll take out all my baju and started to mix and match and see how it looks. So in case I'm in a hurry, at least I still look good, that kind of thing. So in my house, I'm already known like very vain one. My sister can, let's say if she takes a nap, wake up, she the same baju go to tuition. I said, wow, you wear like that, go tuition. I said, okay, ma. So everyone are the same one. So I said, cannot lah. So that's how it all started. And I love shopping. I don't know why. A lot of people say you are actually a shopaholic. I say, yeah, in a way, yes. Is it because after you earn money, then you shop? I say, no, I shop even when I was poor. So, and I always have, I cannot say it's a philosophy lah. Like buy first. When you need to use that one thing later. It's kind of like you must have something at home in case you need it. But most of the people they shop, right, is that I need this, then only they buy. But I'm the other way around. So since young, right, there are many things that I bought is just there, or sometimes once only I wear it, and sometimes not even once. Yeah. So my mom always angry with me on that lah. But then, so that's how actually when I started working, and it so happened one day I actually read newspaper. There was actually one advertisement. One whole page. Then that's how I got into image consulting, because that time that lady named Cynthia So she was actually selling one of the workshop. I look at it, I find it is really interesting, something like, wow, so yummy. So I actually enroll. After the workshop, that's how, like something in my heart, you must actually attend this, learn this and stuff like that. So that's how I actually enrolled in a course. But even before that, I was already a makeup artist from my finance.
So it all comes together. So it's not something that came up suddenly in your life. So you were always into beauty and fashion and makeup and skincare.
Yeah, in a way, yes, because so vain, ma.
So this is both. And when you first started your business, right? After you straight away started after you took the course, or was it like a couple of years after that?
Now, in fact, when I was actually, because I graduated, I am majoring in finance. So right after that, my first job was with Stanchart. No, but of course it lasted only for 6 months. I cabut. Wow, so boring. I was in Kunia Insurance. We were placed there's a department named Special Function, whereby we are detecting irregularities of the fraud claim, in a way. So I think in Kunia, it's just like 1 year plus a little bit. So actually every day going to work is like, going somewhere without a soul. So there was one day I look at a newspaper, then they are actually asking people to join as a consultant in Slimming Sanctuary. So I was like, wow, this one ngamo. So then without much thoughts, right, I applied and I went for an interview. So luckily, once I went for the interview, they say, okay, when you can start working. So once I back to office, I straight away resign, So my colleagues say, hey, you sure or not? You are a graduate, then now you want to go and sell slimming packages. I said, why not? Then that's how I straight away resigned and I hopped to Slimming Sanctuary. But of course, it's just lasted for two months, because then I registered for a makeup course. So I am someone, I'm not sure whether it's a good thing or bad thing, but to me, this is one of my biggest strengths and also one of my biggest weaknesses, because I'm very impulsive. If I want to do one, I cannot think like, wow, let's plan first. And also I would straight away say, okay. So back home, when I enrolled into a course, right, I registered already. I pay a little bit of deposit. Then back home, I asked my mother, hey, ma, I want to go and take a makeup course. Walao, she scold me like hell.
Why?
She said, because I was the only graduate at home. We're very poor, ma. Even my uni fee, right, is actually borrowed money from my relative, my kuma and stuff like that. So to her, he said, I susah, we borrowed money, we actually let you go for higher education. Now you go and tell me, you come home and tell me that you want to go and learn makeup. You crazy. Makeup artists are for those who tak not educated one. You are educated and now you tell me you want to go and be a makeup artist. Then I was speechless, but of course I keep on begging lah, please lah ma, please. So of course in the end, because maybe I was too fun, I keep on nagging. Then she said, okay. So because why I need to nag, and beg her, because I need the money, I don't have money to pay. So that's how she said, okay. And of course I'm so thankful, there was actually one of the best thing that happened in life, whereby I can really finally do something that I like. And at the same time, it changed my life, because or else, right, I tell you what, I can foresee I will never excel, if I continue doing that, in Kunya Insurance. It's not because the company is not good. The company is amazing, good benefit. It's a big company and stuff like that. But that's how I shifted. Yeah. So yeah, from there, then right after I completed, very thankful. I straight away also, being employed to Versace. So in Versace, we work with local celebrities, a lot of beauty pageants, and we work with models. So that's how actually my experience in makeup was only like 3 months, but I get a chance to make up for the celebrity, for a lot of models and pageants. I think there was one time I did a makeup for Anita Sarawak. For those our generation, then they will know who is Anita Sarawak. So that one was actually an event, right? Whereby they have a what do you call a crew, from a TV station. Then in fact they are interviewing Anita, and then right after they ended, then they interviewed me. I was shocked, hey, how come suddenly interview me? Then I said, how long you're in the industry? I actually told a white lie. I dare not say it's 3 months, I scared she's scared. How come this makeup artist only 3 months ago and do a makeup for me? I was like, oh, 3 years. Of course, after I tell the lie, right, I say, how if let's say people watch the show and then, so I just suddenly it caught me like, oh, so I just said 3 years. So right after that, that's how I exposed to more pageants, and so that's how I started. So I think in less than 6 months, I was promoted to a supervisor because the owner say, oh, you are a graduate. It's too sayang, it's wasted if I place you just as a normal artist. So then they actually promoted me, and then I went to an event, a makeup event. One of the GM from a listed skincare and cosmetic company, they headhunt me over, and that's how I progressed much faster than a normal makeup artist because I am actually a graduate. Yeah, so from there I started to speak for the company. I do training, and I am actually also a speaker for the brand. Yeah, so I'm thankful in a way.
So in that way, how is your mother now?
Now completely okay. Well, of course, actually those days, we are very much into fulfilling our parents' dream, not so much on our own dream. If you ask me, do you like, to go for finance or whatnot? Because my mom always say, "Ma, finance is good. Working in a bank is good. Is
money?
The golden rice bowl. So that's why my sister, she is actually in Maybank, and the first and only job until now, she is already 40. She's in Maybank like 20 over years. Never changed job because it's the golden rice bowl.
And so, also in money, right? Working with money.
Yes, that's why I say very good. Must go to work in a bank. That's why my first job was in Stanchart. So that's why actually a lot of time. But of course, back then my dream, because that time no image consultant. So I thought I wanted to go into graphic design. But back then, graphic design is actually pricey, So we have no money. The only way is just to go local. So then no choice lah. So of course when I think back, right, I was actually glad and thankful that last time I was rebellious enough to fight, for what I want to go in life. Or else if I still stay in Kunya, I think I'm still there, Who knows?
And you probably wouldn't enjoy the job as much as you enjoy your business right now.
Yes. That one is for true. Yeah.
And then after this being a spokesperson and helping that company with all their training and all that, what was that spark that made you realize, okay, now it's time for me to go out on my own?
Actually, I am always I told you, since young I wanted to get rich.
So still there, right? Even though you're not working in finance.
Because makeup artists don't earn much though.
But it's a glamorous job. You meet all celebrities.
It looks glamour, but in fact it's not so glam actually. So actually, at that time, right, I already took up my image consultancy course. So a few months later, one of my old friends, she approached me for an MLM. Then, of course, they enrolled me. I joined, and then within a very short time, I earned as well. So that time, that's how the greed came, wow, very greedy. Then the mata duitan, ching, 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 kaching, all comes. So I say, okay, it seems it's good, and I see like a lot of people with good experience, good career, they resign and join full time in the MLM business. And I did the same thing, Again, go home, my mother screw me as well. Screw me up again. You always give me a heart attack. Because even
Are you the most rebellious of all your siblings?
Yeah. Because all of them, they listen to my mother. I said, my mother say this one, do this, and they do lah. So actually, all in, right, employment is for 4 years, and within the 4 years, I think I changed like 4 or 5 jobs as well. So each employment is really short though. So then she said, wow, you just promoted, right? I say yes, because in the listed company, I promoted twice in a year, and when I left, I was already a manager at the age of 26, like that. So then she was so angry again. Now you good career already. You say you want makeup, I let you makeup. You say you want to go learn image, I let you to learn image. Then now suddenly you want to resign. And what's worse is that you join MLM. Wow, she was like, then again, I kena screw. I say, it's okay lah. You scold me lah. I'm okay. I decided at the end. And even I resigned already, only I informed her. Then I was actually building. And of course, I realized it's not as easy as I thought, So I think I was in MLM for 4 or 5 years though. It's very tough. It's not easy at all. But we went through and we enjoy a lot of fun things in life lah. Like, going for a helicopter ride in Hong Kong, Peninsula Hotel. So we go and makan and stuff like that. So, and of course, when you ask me, I say, a lot of people actually ask me the same question. Hey, how if you fail? I say, fail, never mind lah. Go back to employment lah. It's never too late. Right? Sure, people will take me.
I'm also very confident about getting back to the job market.
Yeah, I say, if I can do what my track record, so definitely can one. And then another friend is worse, I tell you what, later, this is just, I think she is trying to scare me. Then if you fail, I tell you what, you fail your life. Then I ask her back, you very successful man now? Say, no. Then what is failure? We are not even successful failure. All of us are failure, right? Then she said, oh, okay, yes, also lah. So, but again, if you ask me whether do I actually regret, joining the MLM, never, because it actually led me, or it brought me into another space whereby you see things differently. And thankfully, the company engaged me as their external speaker as well. So I speak for them for about 2 years until I pregnant, and then stop. Yeah.
So it means that before you even started your business, you're already training and speaking and teaching.
Yes, in a way, yes, yeah. Even
so then this was like just naturally progress and became. I mean, later when you started your business, it was also part of what you did, right?
In fact, right, because in the makeup company, I started as the senior makeup artist, and then I what they call makeup trainer. And back then, I already speak for the company, like whenever they have a small group, or even let's say they have this annual summit. So usually I will represent the company to speak about the cosmetic. Yeah, so I speak. I think that back then the group is about 300, 500. Until I joined this MLM company and they engaged me as the external speakers. So the small group is 300, 500. So I even, being engaged to be the MC for 3-4 consecutive years. So my biggest crowd was 10,000 people in the stadium of Bukit Jalil. It's a 4-phase stage. Yeah, so every year I speak for them. I think the smallest crowd will be 3,000-5,000, or the biggest is actually 10,000. Yeah.
From what you told me, you're naturally fearless, and that it's gonna work. And even if it doesn't work, what's the worst that could happen? You can just go back to the job, another job, right? Or another way to make money. But when you first started, were there anything that you feared?
Yeah, actually, yes. When I first started, in fact, I am quite ego, I always have pride in me. Because since young we are always being looked down, always being looked down, and I always have that kind of feeling like one day, I wanted to tell you that you will regret because you look down to my family. So there's a lot of pride in me because I was actually so scared like I will fail, people will laugh at not only myself but laugh at my parents as well. And then of course even my youngest brother is an OKU, he's a special child. So we used to be like a topic for our relative from my father's side. Like you see lah, your family all girls, they are like that. Like then your brother is also an OKU and stuff like that. So I always have this kind of fear, like how if I fail, it's not because like I cannot get a job again. It's that I will actually make my family like lose the face lah, in a way. So that's actually my biggest failure. So every time when I actually commit into something, right, I always tell myself it's just a one-way street long. So it's either you do it or not. Okay, so if I choose to do it, I must make sure I have to excel in that. So because sometimes I give a lot of pressure in myself, so it's like you struggle, as in like I cannot go back, or else no face, people will laugh at me and stuff like that. So sometimes I broke down as well. And there was one time, very broke, no money at all. No sales from the MLM and stuff like that. Then I went back home, then I asked myself, wow, you're supposed to have a great career. You're supposed now, a manager, you are leading, and why you become like that? So that few months was like so depressed, so depressed as in like, yes, how so just do it long. Die lah, just like that long. So actually, if you ask me, the biggest fear still is the same thing. My biggest fear is that I'm so scared because I don't have money. Seriously, because I know the taste, like no money, how is the taste like, when your whole wallet or the bank left like less than 50. So that is also one of the biggest fear. And another push or motivation is because my husband, so before this is boyfriend, his family is actually well-to-do. The siblings are very well-to-do. So, when I was with him, right, first, I always get to eat good food, go to good places, free holidays. The first few months was really good, exciting and stuff like that. But after some time, right, I feel like very paiseh, I feel very shameful. Why always the person who pays is not me? So it's like I'm a rider, so I feel like, wow, very bad, why my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, wow, very hoseh one, they are so rich and stuff like that. So it also gives me another push, like I cannot fail, I must actually perform so that my boyfriend will also have face. Why your girlfriend so loyal? I don't want all that, So that's how it actually gives me more push from my family and because my husband family. So that's how I work double hard to make sure that what I commit into must turn into a fruit.
What has been some of the most exciting successes or milestone, I wouldn't call it milestones in your business?
You ask me, I think one of the milestone is actually being invited to speak in TEDx. Years ago, I asked myself, my staff, hey, you try to apply for me and see how it goes. He tried to apply, I think back then it's called nominate, but no news. So after many years, so I finally got invited to speak for TEDx. I said, wow, so happy. And then, of course, if you ask me what really milestone, I think it comes one after another. It's just, how should I put it? Yeah, I think since 2017 onwards, after I got my first award, and of course the award come one after another. Okay, so that's how I accumulated it. And then, of course, more and more client actually they approach me one after another. So to me, that is one of my biggest. I cannot say it is actually a success, but finally the name is built. People know who I am, and that's how they come and ask for my services.
And now, when you say you work with clients, what is the working relationship like? Is it like you're still teaching training, or do you do a lot of one-on-one?
In fact, I hardly do one-on-one. I maybe about 90% are corporate clients. I do mostly on corporate trainings or even some of the branding work. If in terms of personal client, I have actually stopped doing that since 2017. The stop means that it's just very rare, maybe long time only one coaching clients. So I do not actually do public workshop. I don't do public because I find it very tedious that I need to deal with so many and then I need to actually do marketing. Now, how all this come by when I started my office in 2010? So I still need to look for business and stuff like that. Years ago in 2017, that was the year that I invested heavily on myself. I actually go for my doctorate, and at the same time, I flew to London for a course called Luxury Brand Management. So I actually used the technique that I learned in luxury brand to use it into my own business. And ever since then, I don't actually look for business anymore because we actually adopt the technique or the skills like a luxury brand never do sales, never give discount, and they never needed to shout like, "Hey, please come and buy me." So then from then, things go slightly smooth sailing lah. Yeah, but it's just that because of my own ego and pride, I think that is my biggest challenges in building my own business. I am actually very demanding, not easy to work with me. Fussy, picky, and choosy. So this is me.
And rebellious. Rebellious.
Yeah, too impulsive. When I say I want, right? Even let's say I go for a course. A few years ago, I said I want to go US and attend a course. I sign, pay, and then only I inform my husband. I hope that he will never actually have a chance to hear this. I'm not asking permission, I'm informing you that I want to go to where and where. But of course, I'm so thankful I have a very supportive husband. He never say no to what I want. Maybe he already know who I am. When I say what I do, very impulsive one. I hardly go and think like, I think, many days, I hardly do this. When I want, I say, okay, I want, then I will do.
So just now you mentioned something very interesting. You say you went to London and you took on this course or program that taught you how to really shift your focus and think how a luxury brand or how a high quality brand should act, right? Towards marketing. So in the early years, were there some things that you did that you felt didn't really help, or something that you felt was really difficult or tough or challenging for you in marketing your business?
Yes, of course. I actually do collaboration. The collaboration also tak jadi. I tell you what collaboration, you name it, so many, Because when you say advertisement, I have no money. So I tried. It actually like a hole in the bank, but upon the response wasn't good. I even do advertisement in a magazine before. The response wasn't good as well. So I tried newspaper, I tried magazine. I also tried some social media. All are not so favorable. Yeah, so then I thought of like, hey, why not we do collaboration? So I even joined some of the platform on collaboration. Too many until I feel like I'm just running like a headless chicken. But every day we're very busy, but you're busy, you cannot see money that time. Until one day, one of my friends say, Wendy, I tell you what, I say what? I don't think you will be successful. Wow, like
Crush your heart.
I say, wow, I work so hard. You go and tell me like I think you will not be successful. Then I say, why you say so? Like why you will say like I will not be successful? Because you are doing so many things. You are not focused. You are doing like anything or everything under the sun. So long they say, you want to do this or not? I say, okay, then I will do. So because it's actually what she say is true. I supposed to thank her, but to me, is it a naysayer or what? I don't know. But because of this, you will never be successful. Because of this statement, really make me, sit down and think again. Whether am I really doing a lot of things. Even back then, I am a trainer. can you train this topic? I said, can. So I will do whatever topic that I think I can actually just read some, do some research, and I can train. So I'm not so into specialization, because I just want money. I just want to have sufficient fee or money or even sales or business to make both end meets, because there were times like I cannot even pay the rent. So these are all the ugly truth about entrepreneurship. Macam glamour, but I tell you what, you have to eat bread, say no money to pay rent, and you name it lah. There are so many more ugly truth about an entrepreneur, but still need to hold on, look positive. I think it's actually very tough, whereby when you're not okay and you still need to look okay, that is actually tough.
Entrepreneurship is one of the toughest.
Yeah.
And that's also the reason why I do this, right? So that when we hear each other's stories, we feel that it's a less lonely journey.
Oh, right? Yes.
You could actually feel like if someone listens to this and say, hey, if super successful entrepreneurs like Wendy, right now she has found what she wants to do. She's in her, in her groove, doing the things that she wants. And even she went through those struggles in the early year. It gives probably someone hope. And you feel like, okay, not so lonely anymore. At least you carry that feeling that, one day, right, I can be like her, but I need to endure this, the first few early years lah, and make sure that I can overcome this and then move on to the next station. So I guess your life changed because of that program, which I think is a fantastic way of overcoming that challenge, right?
Yeah.
And for yourself, what do you like or enjoy most about your business right now?
Most is actually freedom. Another confession, I think only close friends will know. One of the reasons why I left employment is because I cannot take routine. I cannot tahan going into the same place, meeting same people, doing the same thing. But thankfully, I didn't change my husband. I still want husband.
Still married to the same man for how many years?
Yeah. We are together for 20 years, but I think marriage-wise is about 16 years. Yeah. Because I cannot tahan, doing the same thing, meet the same colleague, the routine one after another, like again and again. I cannot tahan. One of the best thing that I enjoy the most as what I am doing now is that, every day I can choose whether I want to go back to office or not, or if I am having a training. So the venue is different. I go to the hotels, I go to the company, or even we travel different places for training or speaking, and then the meet different people. If different training means different sets of participants, yeah. So, but one thing people always say, you every time also you teach back the same topic, what image ma? I say yes, of course I can half far already. I can memorize my training, what they call, even what I say, the slides and stuff like that. But when you speak to different people, they give you different response. Even the jokes are different and stuff like that. So this is the part that I enjoy the most, and I feel that everything, all the suffers and struggles are worth the price lah. Because whether I can choose whether I want to take up the business or not. Yeah. So, and then of course I want to travel anytime I like, but of course not within these few years. Then it's all my choice. Yeah. So this is the best part being an entrepreneur.
So now we come to this last 2 years, which is quite difficult for a lot of people, especially those businesses that rely a lot on face-to-face training. And I think your business is also not any different lah, because you also rely on a lot of the corporate clients. How has your business changed or evolved in the last 2 years because of the pandemic?
Yes, of course, business was bad. Especially once pandemic started, the first few months, almost comes to zero, and there are months really zero. Then of course, this one is another kind of not so secret lah. People who knows me well, they know. Okay, I am someone who are not into saving. So let's say, for example, how much I earn that month, I deduct all the expenses that I need to pay or save. Then the balance money I use up all every time. Okay, even
because
if
you're impulsive. because you're impulsive.
You know me well. I think after this interview, I know you already. But whatever I see, I feel like I hardly leave without buying. If I like the thing, right, and I can afford that, I surely will buy lah. So or else I will keep the money, then I will actually go for holiday or whatnot. So because no saving ma, last time I was actually like very arrogant never mind. Every month I am the ATM myself. I am the money making machine. So macam yes lah, very confident. Until the pandemic hit, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, say lah, die lah this time. Because I don't save much. After I pay off whatever, that means that habis lah. So I can only last for a few months, but memang the few months gone lah, very fast also. So then how no income, or even the income is not sufficient. Actually, I have stopped drawing salary for so long, no choice. You still need to pay your staff, pay rent, so then I cannot pay lah myself. And then thankfully still when the corporate business or the training business went down, luckily the certification actually went up. Certification, because we also actually train image consultant, or we certify image consultant. So thankfully on the first year of pandemic hit, the whole year almost actually just relying or depending on the students' enrollment. So that keeps the business going. But the fee that we collected is just sufficient to pay the overhead. Yeah. Not including my salary. I have to say that, So, wow, for so long, I never take salary. And then all of a sudden, so lucky that no more events, right? Staying at home. My biggest record, I think I stopped buying baju, clothes. I did it almost close to 2 years. Those days before, pre-pandemic, right? Every week I have new baju. Every week without fail. Suddenly, like no new baju. After some time, I feel like, hey, is it me or not? First, it's also nowhere to go, and then I don't believe on online purchase, because every time online, maybe I'm the unfortunate one. Every time I buy, right, it's not what I want. The product is not the same as the catalog. Every time. So after some time, I gave no more online baju purchasing. Then of course, then the pandemic, no events, nothing. But of course, lately Chinese New Year is a good excuse. That's how like revenge, like wow, 2 years never buy baju.
So you bought 2 years worth of baju in Chinese New Year time, before Chinese New Year.
Suddenly I buy so much, Then I feel like, hey, whether I can finish or not. But of course I did. Then the old me came back. Yeah. Of course the 2 years was like, it's so tough. But we pivoted into production, and then we started content marketing business. That one, thankfully, we break even for first year. Is 1 year old. Yeah, that company name Brain Your Brand. So how we actually put some thoughts into developing brands. That one we got some new clients, and then we do also short clips for some brands. Yeah, but of course I'm very thankful that we are not making loss for the first year.
So in that business, what do you do? You're creating content for your clients.
Yeah, we are actually helping clients to come out with marketing strategies, and then also that very much into the angle of production, how they can do video, because I think ever since pandemic started, everyone are going into producing their own video clips, content, or many people actually running out of content. So that's how we feed them on some strategies, and that's how I use more of luxury brand management techniques into their businesses. I think a lot of people misunderstand, they thought of like, oh, luxury brand, no, my brand is not luxury. We are not actually saying that we convert their products or their brands into luxury brands, but we are actually using the technique on how can we build our brand as if like a luxury brand. So instead of using push marketing, now we are using pull marketing. How can they actually put less effort in selling, but people will buy without being sold? So we are trying to change that. Yeah. So if they are starting with a mass brand, how the mass brand can be a premium brand? If they are already in premium, how can they be actually slightly higher lah? Yeah. So this is actually the value that we help our clients in.
Now, this is a question that I really like to ask you. If you can turn back the clock and knowing what you know now,
Okay.
what would you tell a younger version of you about life?
I will tell the younger self, or maybe the younger people, right? Actually, need not to hold on so much, on how you feel. Okay, sometimes we juggle our feelings so much, or even we are so into what we think that it is right, and until we close door, we don't want to listen to people's advice. Or maybe I was so confident that I thought whatever I touched, like got Midas touch like that lah. But in fact, things don't always happen as it goes. So if I can actually go through a lot of shortcut, if I am a little bit more open up, I think I can be going further, or I shorten the journey, I can be even better. But because last time I always close door, sometimes people want to give their advice, and I always think that I think my way is a better way. Or even I try to control my stuff, like, I say, you follow my way lah, you don't use your way, you follow my way. So and a lot of people left me, and stuff like that. So if things can actually go back and we can actually travel back to years, I will be actually a little bit more open. It takes me so many years to understand this. Okay, and this is such a heavy price to pay. So I was a lone ranger for many years, because back then I also do not have much vision. I never thought of I want to build a company, big one, because I want freedom. And I just want to have sufficient money for me to spend, happy, then it's good. But of course, in fact, is building a business is not just about me. People who follow me, or who comes together, they want growth as well. But of course, to me, I thought I am actually for their own benefit. I am actually teaching them, but in fact, it's not. So it took me, I think, easily 5 years to understand this, and I slowly let go. Letting go is very painful as well. So I have to swallow my own pride and ego. So that is actually the lesson, the biggest lesson that I wish people to know, that you cannot expect everyone to be exactly like you. We will never get such a people lah. So sometimes we just need to see the best in other person, listen to some of the advice. Perhaps we shorten our struggling journey.
Great advice. What's the craziest thing I've ever done? I know you're impulsive and you do a lot of crazy things, but maybe what's the craziest thing that right now you can think of?
Wow, suddenly craziest thing that I do. Okay, I spend a lot in what they call upgrading myself. If you ask me, I can enroll into many different courses within such short time, because besides impulsive, I'm also impatient. I cannot tahan like, wow, I have to wait for long only I get this. So I can go for I just want this, then I will take a lot of courses within such short time. So this is also something that I will do. And even let's say for what do you call, sometimes, right, I wanted to get something, but actually that thing might take 1-2 years, but I will shorten everything within the shortest time possible. So if this thing need money, I'm okay to go for that. Yeah, because to me, time is actually always more precious than money. Money can earn back, but time cannot. So because I know that I have wasted so much time back then, so I'm okay to sacrifice money in order to save time.
What is an unusual habit that you have?
Maybe for a lot of entrepreneurs, it's not unusual. I can sleep very less, If I need to work, I can actually sacrifice my sleeping time. I actually sleep very less, but recent years, because age is catching up, now cannot like those days, now like, wow, every day you also feel like, wow, why very sleepy one. But those days, because of work, now, actually not only on work, now people always say that, we cannot have it all. But again, because I am very stubborn, I thought, why not? I have a very conservative father-in-law. So he's already 85 this year. Even 20 years ago, he always find that women shouldn't be, having your own career. You must actually stay at home, take care of the children, or go to your husband's office and help. But I'm again the rebellious one, right? I always fight with him like, no, I can have it all and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a challenge. Let's say, like he said that you have to take care of your children, so you should stay at home. But I say I can have both equally good. Okay, so at night I take care of my children until they sleep. Like sometimes 12 only they sleep, right? So then at 12 only I start work. Yeah, so I sleep very less. I can sleep like 3-4 hours a day for long period of time, and I can tahan that. So if you ask me, is it okay to give up sleep in order to get that? My answer is always yes one. So until my staff say, Wendy, can I don't be like you or not? I actually quite like sleeping because they will like
get know your sleeping habit.
Because I send them emails like midnight. Sometimes I text them. I already informed them you don't need to reply my WhatsApp or no need to reply. It's just that I'm actually working at that time. I will send you email like 3-4 a.m. They still, wow, Wendy, you are still awake. I say, yeah, I'm working, during that time. So they know my sleeping time. But I think recently I spoke to one of my staff. He actually asked me, how can you do so much things, you have to jaga this and that, and then you can still finish your work. Then he asked me how you do it, but he said, but I still need to have my life, I cannot be like you work, every now and then. I still want to work. I try not to work when I get home. Maybe the generation is different. Those days, our time, we are workaholic. Yeah, but now the younger generation, they want to chill after work and stuff like that. I say, you don't need to be like me, but I just need you to focus 100% when you are really working. Because sometimes there are many distractions. I don't believe like 8 hours of working, you really work 8 hours.
And of course, what personal goal are you currently most focused on?
Okay, I think the pandemic is good. Even though it hit my income tremendously, both my income and my husband's income. But in fact, if you ask me, I enjoyed it more. And I really finally enjoy what real life is. I really have like no life, even though I travel very often to de-stress. But I spend more time with my children. So now, and in fact, I'm trying to build a passive income. I hope if I'm able to build a passive income, whereby I hope it will be happening soon, I can choose whether I want to work or not. And I hope that after I say this, it will never reduce my business, but I am actually reducing training, because training is very tiring, because you have to stand for 8 hours on heels, speak for 8 hours, and then after the training back home, you have more work because the whole day you cannot check emails and stuff like that. So I'm actually trying to reduce on training, but I need another avenue to maintain my income. So I hope that soon, hopefully before 50 or even faster than that, that I can choose what I want to do without worrying whether I have money to use or not. I think this is actually one of my aim, that I hope that it will happen soon. But of course, I have actually spent about 3 years to work on this thing.
Now let's do something more fun. I asked you a lot of very intense questions already, right? So now let's take it a little bit easy. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Favorite book?
Favorite book, How Women Rise by Marshall Goldsmith. Yeah.
And what do you like about the book?
Because actually the title itself gets connected so much to me. Because actually women throughout the whole world, right? I think women are always being put into the secondary. Like even the pay, the opportunities, and a lot of things. Or maybe because of my experience since young, we are being looked down because I am born, a girl. So once I look at it, I wanted to find out more, how we can rise, or maybe I have to say a bit selfish, how I can rise, how I can actually overcome, the stereotype, the discrimination. and how can I actually break the glass ceiling. So that's why I'm actually very interested in the book.
Favorite movie?
Favorite movie, comedy movie, especially Stephen Chow's movie. In my car, I have so many CD. I know I'm an old schooler. I memorized most of the lyrics, or the script, in every Stephen Chow's movie. Yeah.
Favorite food?
Favorite food, chicken. Okay, I am actually from Malay school. Okay, since young I speak Malay really well. But actually, when I was very young, right, I only eat chicken. Fish also not a thing for me, and then I don't eat pork. I don't eat beef. I don't eat lamb. So since young, my mom called me the queen of chicken. I only eat chicken, and even when I was 16, I applied to work in KFC. Why I work in KFC? Because I can eat chicken. But back then, the feeling of having a fried chicken during break time is priceless. Because those days, because very poor, right? So actually, only birthday or special occasion, I get to eat drumstick. But when I actually working every day break time, wow, when the drumstick, so it's like wow, every day
come true.
Yes, that's why it's like I know it's very lame now. Where got people like to eat chicken one? If you ask me this, definitely I have more favorite food, but the fried chicken especially is actually like a reminder on how I came the long way. So if you ask me, the fried chicken is always like my all-time
And favorite compliment?
favorite compliment. Okay, you are so clever. I actually don't like people say, "Oh, you're so pretty." I hope that people will say that you are very clever rather than I look good. But it so happened, every time people say, "Aya, you're so pretty, you are successful because you look good." I feel like, hey, I'm on. I have pretty much.
Yes, there's such as a woman with a brain and beauty, of course, but the brain also is part of that package, right?
Yeah, but then I hope people can see my brain first and not my look first.
But unfortunately, because of the business, or at least the topics and the training that you talk about image, right? So people automatically assume that being pretty is all it takes.
I know why you say so, because really throughout the years, right, the first compliment is also, "Oh, you look good, girl," or, you look beautiful today, whatsoever lah. But nothing relates to things that they cannot see. This is
Now,
actually
Wendy, you're so smart.
yeah. I prefer this actually more.
Okay, final one. Where can people find Wendy Liew online?
Go to LinkedIn, then you can actually add me there. I'm very active on LinkedIn, not so into Insta. This old auntie, I tell you what, my Instagram is a private account and it's not active. Then my Facebook is more on friends only. So all my friends in Facebook, if I don't know the person, you will never be confirmed or added. Okay, so that's all friends. So find me on LinkedIn. That's how we can actually connect further and be friends from LinkedIn.
So thank you, Wendy. I have had such an incredibly fun interview with you because you're very open, you're very upfront about a lot of things, and you also are able to laugh at some of the past, or at least reveal and look back at some of your past with a lot of fondness, like the fried chicken. I will never forget the fried chicken KFC. But I guess in our lives, this is what happens, right? When we grow up in a certain era where we don't have that, to us that represents that good time in our lives, or the time where we actually got something good out of it.
But suddenly I feel very emotional, when you share like this. Yeah, lor. When there was one time, right? Suddenly, since you say, I know the times is almost up. SS2 was a guy. In SS2 there was actually one street is full of food, hawker food and stuff like that. So myself and two other elder sister, we stayed together. Every month, after we get our salary, we will not cook at home. So the three of us will go to the hawker street and makan. And to us, right, ikan bakar is very expensive back then. So every month, once we get a paycheck, three of us will eat the ikan bakar. So there was one year my sister flew back from Kuching, and then we went out and we makan that. And we makan the ikan bakar with tears, And then we say, you remember this? When we were so broke, then we take turn to pay for that. Yeah, so those were the days. Suddenly you talk about that.
Because sometimes for us, I mean, I guess for Malaysians, we associate food with a certain time and place in our lives. So the first, I don't know, the first delicious thing that we ate, or the
Yeah.
first time we walked into a nice restaurant, that brings back certain memories for us. So it's not just the food brings
Yeah.
other memories and other good things with it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you mentioned that. I wanted McDonald's, but of course my grandmother said no, you can't. So I had to go and work in a kindergarten as a kindergarten teacher.
Because you're rebellious enough.
Let me just be quiet and very good, obedient granddaughter and just do the job that she approved, which was kindergarten teacher. Such a boring job. And until today, I'm just like, I'm so scared of kindergartens, okay? The screaming and crying and kids all over the place. That's to me, no. So thank you so much, Wendy. It has been such a pleasure interviewing you and talking to you about not just entrepreneurship, but about life and generally about how you came to the business you're in and your next phases in life. Thank you once more for such a
Thank you.
meaningful
Thank
interview.
I hope that we can finally meet one day in person.
Yes, for sure. So I'll see you again. Thanks,
All right.
Wendy.
Thank you.
How do you like today's episode? My favorite moments were many, but one that I relished most was at the end when Wendy became emotional over a memory that she shared about herself and her sisters and how far they've come. Sometimes we don't realize we've progressed until we look back. But more than looking back, we need to savor what we have accomplished about ourselves. Far too often, we forget to do this as an acknowledgement to ourselves because we get too busy and frenetic in our day to day lives. Let's be kind to ourselves, and sometimes I forget too as I get busy in my day. If you have been a regular listener of this podcast, could you do me a favor? Head on over to womenpreneurasia.com and get to the contact page. Take the survey by clicking the link on this contact page. Help me out with my survey so I know if my podcast is resonating with you and what you like to hear more of. It takes less than 5 minutes to answer, but you'll be really helping me out. Next week, you will hear from Lalita Raman, originally from India, and now she has been living in Hong Kong for a good 20 plus years. Lalita was a former banker, and she's now the CEO of Transitions International Limited. She facilitates and coaches in the areas of leadership and communications. We had a brilliant conversation about overcoming the imposter syndrome, asking for help, starting from ground zero, and becoming an entrepreneur after years as a corporate person. If you want to hear more, see you next week.